Hey YouTube, Coppersan here. The MapleStory Korea test client was updated today and it contains the new 6 job skills. So far, all classes received one new origin skill and at least one enhanced 4 job attack, with some classes like Zero, Pathfinder and Ark receiving a few more buffed skills that just fits their kit better. The exact system that the 6 job advancement will be using has not been released yet though, but we do know that there are 4 mastery skill slots to fill. These skills will boost your other existing attacks, and this update only introduces the first one, so more enhanced skills will be released in the future. And it ain't just more damage, some skills also change in many other significant ways. Like always, the skills that we're talking about are in the test client, so some things could still change out there. And this update also improved the visuals of some of the new 6 job origin skills. Here are the new animations, or should we just call them cutscenes? These new 6 job skills are called origin skills. They also bind the boss on a separate bind timer, which has a 60-second party-wide cooldown. The skills themselves have 6-minute cooldowns. But anyway, this video will mostly be about those enhanced 4 job attacks. And this might surprise some of you, but I do not have any character at level 260 in this server. So I'll be using a combination of trailer footage and the new skill icons, skill windows, etc. like this. So starting with Hero, the enhanced 4 job skill is Raging Blow, greatly increasing the range and damage the skill does. When your attack is enhanced by having max combos, the skill will now deal 590% damage against 8 enemies 4 times, and the final 2 lines will always crit, just like is the case with the current skill. Paladins, their bossing is getting a buff, with Blast and Divine Judgment being buffed by the 6 job core. Unfortunately, I could not find anything about Blast and what the changes were. Divine Judgment's explosion that occurs after leaving 5 blast stacks on a monster now deals 890% damage 10 times. The explosion ignores 20% defense, as currently is the case with the base skill. Dark Knight's Gunnier's Descent will be boosted by their 6 job node, now dealing 390% damage, and the skill has a 30% ignore defense passive, but the 6 job version gets a nice 40% ignore defense passive, so not only a damage boost but also a little bit of an IED boost compared to the base skill. Fire Poison Mages got their Flame Sweep skill buffed, dealing 355% damage 7 times, and every other attack, the flames of the skill get bigger, leaving embers on the monster. Those embers explode when they come in contact with the skill Mist Eruption, dealing 375% damage 8 times. The DOT damage of Flame Sweep was also enhanced to 435%. Ice Lightning Mages got a huge improvement to their Chain Lightning. I think these changes are probably insane for their bossing and mobbing. The 6 job enhanced Chain Lightning skill will deal 305% damage instead of the weak 200% from its regular 4 job skill, and the additional critical rate was buffed to 30% when attacking stunned monsters. But now there also is a 35% chance to create an electric field around each enemy hit, and a 100% chance to create a current at least every 7 seconds. This field deals 140% damage to 6 enemies and lasts for 4 seconds. You can have 4 of those zones in the map at a time, which is pretty crazy I think for both bossing and mobbing. Bishop is also getting a sick change. Holy Arrow will now deal 365% damage, plus an Angel of Judgment will appear every 12th hit, dealing 580% damage against 15 enemies. The healing and final damage buff remain the same. Bowmaster's Hurricane is getting buffed for 6 job, increasing the damage of the skill from 350% to a massive 585%. Also, Bowmasters will collect arrows each time the skill hits, up to 250. Once you have 200, you can enter shooting mode by pressing the down key. This enhanced attack deals 425% damage 6 times against 6 enemies and consumes 1 arrowhead per attack it hits. That's pretty crazy. For Marksman, it's Snipe that's getting buffed, dealing 545% damage 9 times. After 2 attacks, the Snipe skill will be enhanced, dealing 605% damage 10 times, and inflict 5 additional hits, dealing 380% damage if your target is marked. Then when you attack a 4th time, a new special arrow is prepared called Ultimate Sniping. This skill fires 2 arrows that deal 315% damage 10 times each, and when a marked enemy is hit, this skill will deal those 5 additional attacks for 380% damage as well. Pathfinder is getting 2 skills buffed with 6 job. Cardinal Blast will be affected. The 6 job version deals 990% damage 5 times to 8 enemies, and the skill Additional Blast, not sure what the English translation is also affected. With this skill there is a 50% chance to create 3 magical arrows when using Cardinal Blast. These deal 330% damage 3 times, and also every 20 seconds 16 arrows will be generated, dealing 180% damage 4 times. Nightlord's Quad Throw got buffed with 6 job, dealing 750% damage 4 times. When the skill hits a monster 3 times, the skill is enhanced, dealing 990% damage 4 times to 6 enemies. That's the little red effect you see over there. Shadow's Assassinate is the first skill to get a buff from 6 job, with the first hit now dealing 395% damage 6 times, and the second hit of the skill now deals 690% damage. No additional effects are added though. Dual Blade's Phantom Blow is getting a power up with 6 job, dealing 530% damage 6 times to 4 enemies with the 6 job enhancement. Compared to its base skill, this attack hits 1 more enemy, deals 200% more damage and has a 40% ignore defense passive instead of 30%. Corsair is getting a similar improvement to Bowmaster. Their rapid fire skill gets an upgrade, dealing 555% damage per shot, and it collects 1 stack every 5 hits. When 10 stacks are collected, the skill is enhanced, dealing 270% damage 4 times against 6 enemies. This attack consumes 1 stack per second. Buccaneer's Octopunch is the first skill for them to get a 6 job buff, now dealing 480% damage 10 times to 4 enemies, and when you're transformed or when you have that energized status, the attack deals 620% damage 5 times, but it also creates shockwaves, dealing 620% damage 10 times against 3 enemies. Wow. Best Monkey class Cannoneer is getting its Cannon Barrage skill enhanced. This attack will now deal 1240% damage 4 times against 8 enemies. The bonus critical rate passive this skill has been increased from 15% to 20%, and the IED passive from 20% to 30%. Next are the Night of Sickness. Shining Cross is getting a boost from Mihail. The regular version of this skill will deal 970% damage 4 times against 8 enemies. When you're using your boss toggle, the skill changes to assault mode and then it deals 595% damage 10 times to 12 enemies. Dawn Warrior gets an upgrade to their Solar Slash and Lunar Divide, with both skills attacking 8 enemies, dealing 830% damage 6 times, which is a huge increase. The current skill deals 485% damage, that's close to double the damage. Blaze Desert's Little Chicken Balls will deal more damage, with the normal version dealing 440% damage, and the Fox Mode bossing version dealing 670% damage. For Wind Archers, it's Song of Heaven that's getting the first 6 job enhancement. The skill now deals 750% damage, which is almost double the normal skill damage. The base one is 390%. And nope, you still can't walk with the skill. Next one is being a bit cryptic with the Nightwalker. The test client patch notes are super unhelpful as always, and mention this. You got what it's changed? No, me neither. So Quintuple Star now deals 360% damage with the first 4 stars, and the final star deals 1440% damage. But there is actually more to this skill. Did you see it? There is another attack popping out, that bigger shuriken at the beginning of the footage. This attack is part of the first 4 hits. It has a bigger hitbox and hits monsters further away. No clue why it was not mentioned anywhere. And finally, we're getting to Thunderbreaker. Their Annihilate skill got a 6 job buff, now dealing 470% damage 7 times, and this skill now leaves a brand that will last for 90 seconds. This brand can be popped by any other attacking skill, dealing 190% damage 3 times. That's not bad. Aaron's Beyond Blade gets a 6 job boost. The first hit now deals 525% damage, the second hit 440% damage, and the third hit 444% damage. All dealing 5 lines. Every 4 seconds though, when you're using that skill, Maha will appear to attack 3 enemies 4 times, dealing 375% damage. And when your combo frenzy is active, this cooldown is reduced to 2 seconds. Evan's Mana Circle will be buffed by the 6 job node, dealing 525% damage on the first hit and 595% damage on the second hit. At least the animation of their origin skill is looking a lot better now. For Luminous, it's Ender that's getting buffed, dealing 740% damage 6 times against 3 enemies. And yeah, that's it. Mercedes, her Ishtar Ring skill is getting buffed by 6 job, dealing 525% damage up to 4 enemies. It also leaves a brand on enemies hit. This brand will last 90 seconds and increases when an attack hits 6 times, or when Ishtar's Ring hits 24 times. Each time the brand is completed, another attack pops out. According to the skill description, they deal 1% damage, but I'm not entirely sure how the stacking works due to my limited Korean knowledge. I'm very sorry. For Phantom, their Tempest skill is getting buffed, which is an interesting choice of skills to buff first. Dealing 780% damage, the skill can be held down for 3 seconds and hits 8 monsters. For Shade, it's Spirit Claw that's getting a 6 job upgrade, dealing 540% damage against 12 enemies, which doesn't sound very exciting, but the original 4 job skill deals 265% damage, so that's more than double the damage on your main bossing skill. Magnum Punch and Double Blast got their damage increased for Blaster. Magnum Punch now deals 985% damage 3 times and attacks up to 7 enemies. And Double Blast deals 835% damage 4 times against 7 enemies. Damn, that's a lot of damage. Battle Mage, their Death skill got a huge improvement once they get that 6 job skill buff. Death will appear after defeating 6 enemies and attacks up to 10 enemies with 930% damage 12 times. Attacking a boss monster twice counts as 1 enemy defeated. You'll also harvest souls when defeating 4 enemies or attacking a boss monster with death, so with the skill itself. When the skill activates again after collecting 4 souls, the attack is enhanced, dealing 1475% damage 14 times. That's pretty crazy. Wild Arrow Blast for Wild Hunter now deals 530% damage per shot with your new 6 job buff, and you'll gain stacks every time another bite triggers. Once you hit 50 stacks, the attack speed of the skill is increased. Interesting changes. I can't wait to see how that works in the boss fight. That sounds curious. Xenon is a Mega Purge Snipe skill, now deals 540% damage 7 times against 5 enemies, and every now and then an additional explosion occurs, dealing 460% damage 7 times, also against 5 enemies. The same goes for their Bombardment skill, but that footage wasn't used in the trailer, but this skill now deals 570% damage 5 times, and then an additional attack will drop every 6 seconds, dealing an additional 570% damage 7 times. Mechanic has also gotten an upgrade for his salvo skills. Heavy Salvo Plus now deals 745% damage 4 times, which is almost double as much damage, and AP Salvo Plus deals 560% damage 6 times, and the second explosion deals 270% damage 3 times. Both hits of this skill can hit up to 7 enemies. Demon Slayer, their affected skill is Demon Impact, which now deals 805% damage 6 times against 5 enemies once you equip that 6 job node. And every 15 seconds the skill is empowered, visualized by a chain coming down, dealing additional damage. I could not find out how much damage it does exactly, my apologies. Demon Avengers got a 6 job passive buff to their Nether shields, throwing 3 shields that deal 2 lines of 840% damage and attack up to 8 times per shield. Kaiser got his first enhancement on Giga Waves, dealing 620% damage 9 times. When you're transformed, this gets buffed to 620% damage 11 times. Kane got 2 skills enhanced, Falling Dust and Poison Needle. Really surprised that Strike Arrow was not selected as the first skill to be enhanced. The 6 job version of Falling Dust deals 910% damage 8 times. If you use Malice, there is an additional shockwave that deals 1030% damage 10 times. And the second hit deals 755% damage 15 times. The 6 job version of Poison Needle will deal 710% damage 8 times. The DOT damage was buffed to 620%. And the attack now has a finisher that deals an additional 460% damage 10 times. Kadena, her 4 job skill Chain Arts Trash, gets the first 6 job buff, with the first hit dealing 300% damage twice, the second hit dealing 760% damage 5 times, and every 8 seconds an enhanced second hit is prepared, dealing the same damage as the regular one, so 760% damage 5 times, but it also deals 470% damage 8 times through shockwaves. You can have up to 3 enhanced hits prepared. Angelic Buster gets their Trinity skill buffed, dealing 1020 damage 4 times. Zero got their Earth Break and Wind Strike combos buffed for 6 job. For example, Storm Break now deals 525% damage 10 times, with the electrical area dealing 370% damage every second for 4 seconds. And Earthbreak dealing 610% damage 10 times, the shockwaves deal 455% damage 10 times, and the DOT area deals 545% damage every second for 5 seconds. Another thing that was mentioned is this skill called Timepiece that I didn't know about. The skill creates traces when assist hits 4 times, up to 10 traces can exist on the map, and they attack for 4 times, dealing 720% damage. Genesis can now throw a freaking building at people, dealing 1170% damage 10 times, and reduces the enemy defense by 15% for 30 seconds. Adele, her cleaving is getting its 6 job enhanced, dealing 645% damage 6 times, and every 12 seconds the attack is enhanced, dealing 360% damage 7 times, times 3, performing 3 slashes at the same time. Again, that's a lot of damage. Ilium got his Javelin boosted, dealing 535% damage 3 times. It also creates 2 fragments that attack for 200% damage when the skill hits. When you're transformed, the skill gets buffed to deal 945% damage 5 times, and it will summon 3 fragments instead of 2. Kali, her Flurry gets a 6 job passive buff, dealing 585% damage to 8 enemies 7 times. The skill also reduces the cooldown of Void Rush and Void Blitz by 1 second when the attack hits. For Ark, Nexon went all out, releasing a Mastery Core to buff their Charge Drive, dealing 980% damage 3 times, Scarlet Drive, dealing 585% damage 3 times, Gust Drive, dealing 656% damage 6 times, and Abyssal Charge Drive, dealing 550% damage 4 times and 660% damage 6 times. But there also is a change to his Gauge skill, and this is super interesting. Each time an enemy is hit by linking Ark skills, Ark gains 1 Abyssal Energy. Collect enough to create a blade that attacks with 900% damage 3 times, and once this triggers, you'll get 30 Abyssal Energy, up to a maximum of 300, and that energy you need to stay transformed. So the more you combo around, the more those additional attacks pop out, the more energy you get, the longer you can stay transformed. That sounds really good. Lara, her Spirit Sprinkle skill got a 6 job boost, dealing 745% damage 4 times, and that's it. And the next huge list of skills that got changed is for Hoyoung. Similar to Ark, multiple skills got a buffed 6-job version, like his Consuming Flame skill that now deals 555% damage 6 times, that Earth skill that deals 650% damage 6 times, and his Staff skill dealing 455% damage 10 times. Similar to Ark, Hoyoung also gets another mastery skill for his gauge. When he fills up his gauges 5 times, he gets a 10% final damage bonus for his Heaven, Earth and Humanity skills. This buff will last for 30 seconds and has a 30-second cooldown. There are no Kana, Hayato or Beast Tamer released in MapleStory Korea, so those are not there, keep that in mind. Also, once again, this is still a test client, so expect some skill changes to be made, some fine-tuning to happen. But hey, what do you think of your main's enhanced 6-job skills? Let me know in the comments. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, many thanks to our members for making these videos possible. Special thanks to Niels de Coninck, Raar maar waar, Sebastian Hanoy, Jesus Rodriguez, Claudie Mora, Wiley, Riser Are BackSpaceOTI, Ziggy Deer, Historycanon, Saffronyx, Flidiot, Knifesu, Cloudfix, Sir Tito 655, Michael Manchaka, Rathius, Afterlord, Betrayal 1489, Silvio Nato, Striker Elk, Tidal 1 Pun, Victor Sundstrom, Mathias Simonsson, Mr. and Ark, Brendon Games, The Passenger, Kani Wu, Max Bernhardt, Muka 1017, BNB King, Scotty Flies Fast, Gabriel Eck, Fecko, Vake Botnet, Dante Victory, Mathinu Dev, Snack HBG, Only, Lord Fazil, Pats D. Kaiser, That Archie Guy, Louis Bento Brandao, Snufflepop, Tails Curspet, The Wolf Drake, Gaber Wolf, and Pretty Big Bang Best Guild Luna. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe and happy mapling!